When Travis Bickle asked Easy Andy, "You got a 44 Magnum?" He said, "That's an expensive weapon." It's okay, I got money. And there is more truth to that now than there ever has been. Yes, this is a Model 29. This is the N frame series here that we're doing. You guys know I love N frames, and the Model 29. This one here is the monster, the 8 3/8. It's I've had this for years, and I picked this up on an auction that was it really was too good to be true, and it ended up that it ended. Normally, when you say, "Well, that can't be," it's too good to be true. And this was one of those cases where this was way too good to be true, and guess what? It was true. If I recall right, I mean, this was like $700 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was really it was a steal of a price. And a friend of mine that brought it in for me, the FFL, I remember him telling me that. He said, "Man," he goes, "You really lucked out, because I don't think whoever had this fired it a whole lot." He goes, "If any." So, and that's what's kind of nice about some of these. Either they weren't fired a whole lot, or they were fired too much, right? But yeah, look at that. That's the gorgeous part. Look at 44 Magnum. My romance to the 29 and whatnot, especially something like this, is strictly the movies. Dirty Harry, you can't handle a Model 29 blued with any kind of a length of a barrel on it without thinking about Dirty Harry. But in this case, for me, it was another movie, and I did a quote from the movie in the beginning, so you can figure that one out. But it was a different movie that I really liked, and this is what they had in the movie: 8 3/8, and it's a large barrel. But you know what? As I owned it, and shot this thing, and I shoot mostly specials out of them. I realized that what a dream it is to shoot, and it truly is a tack driver. I mean, it is. It reaches out there for sure. It's definitely a really fun shooting revolver. Yeah. So, but yeah, of course, 6 shots. 44 Magnum, N frame. That's what we're talking about in this series of N frames. Firing pin on the nose, and this is a -3. If I hadn't mentioned it already, so it doesn't have the cross pin or the countersunk cylinders. That's something that's different about it. That's what they did with -3s. I believe that when I'm talking about dash numbers, the model and then the dash, that's usually what it indicates. The dash numbers are what they've changed, or indications of something that's changed or whatnot. So anyway, there it is. I figured I'd bring it out, and for the -3, from what I understand, that's when they eliminated, at least for the Model 29. That is when they eliminated the pin barrel, and the countersunk cylinders would have been the -3 series. So again, this one's hardly even as much as I fired it and used it. Like I said, when I got it, I think whoever had it before me either rarely shot it or didn't shoot it, because I'm the one to actually put the turn ring on it, because it didn't even have that. And you can see the extractor rod is perfectly blued. So usually those are, if you see those are straight up silver, and you look down in here and you see what Bob Dunlap calls a donut, which is a bunch of missing bluing right around the firing pin home right there in the frame, like my technical terminology. It usually is an indication of it being fired. Now the swiping right here, that could be just in closing the cylinder in and out, because when you have a revolver, you just tend to love doing that. It's just fun. And of course the turn ring, but that's just from it going, the normal action, working the action on a revolver. So anyway, there you go. Model 29 with 8 3/8.